Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hi, Luminaires. I hope everybody is doing well. I've absolutely been kicked out of the house with everybody on a computer or taking over the living room or laundry that's taking over my bed that needs to be folded that I'm putting off because so much has been going on. You've probably wondered a little bit why I haven't been around. I'd like to respond to. And I do apologize for not being here, and I've absolutely missed it. But as you know, with Corona vacation, a lot has been happening. And to stay very present and in the flow and in radical acceptance, sometimes it takes a lot of focus and a lot of strength. So, with the overactivity of being on screens, my eyes have been giving a little like funny optical headache, which is a little weird. That's new for me. So I'm learning a whole new relationship about being on screens because I am not a TV watcher and I don't really get on electronics a lot. So this is a new relationship. It's fun. Oh, good morning from Melbourne. Good morning. I have missed you guys so much. So here's the download of what's been going on. I'm going to do this with my chin up. And I'm going to choose to do this with a smile on my face. And I like to say this because a lot of people ask me, is that smile real? Are you really authentic? Or are you just, living in hope only? Nope. It's a conscious decision to be this way and it's not disassociation or avoidance. So there you have that prep. And that prep is leading to staying in the flow and responding to what's being asked of you at any time. So, some of you know that I had a partner at the Center for Love and Light, and she followed her direction she needed to go in last year. And so, 2020, I've been a solo owner of the Center for Love and Light. And during the Corona vacation, of course, we've had to shut down. And to do that means not a lot of income for an event space, meaning this much income for an event space. And I have put all of my savings into renovating it recently. So there wasn't a lot to fall back on. It was a financial decision. So I've come to the place where I have two offices at the Center for Love and Light, and I need to close one of them down. So over the last 2 weeks, I've been focusing on that. And I've decided to close down Suite 10, which is our practitioner space. That's where we have our healers, Dr. Mandy, Dr. Kate, Corey Dobbins, massage therapist, Jay Greathouse, who is going to be working with me and some of you on the mentorship program, and Kenya Jackson Salters, who is a TED Talks beautiful woman who does numerology and all kinds of healing modalities and runs the Outdoor Journal. It means Tatiana Franklin, who's been with us, who is a pranic healer. She's got some incredible products. Well, they are not going to be at the center anymore. Same with Janet Raftis and Scott Hall, but they will be with us in an online presence. So we're not really going to have a roof over our head for our individual offices, but we will collaborate online. And so that's where my brain space was. And I found out that my emotional body is a little bit like my physical body, where if I do a really solid workout hard, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I do this. And you had such a good sweat. And then next day, no pain. Next day, no pain. Third day, I can't get out of bed. So this has been my emotional body. I went through a whole week of just amazing work, very much into it. And then when I got into this week, it's like I got up and it was just like, the tears came, sobbing, understanding what it means to let go and let it move the way that it needs to rather than hold on to it. Yeah. But we still have Suite 7, which is our event space. So we will be doing in-person events, a community space. I had to weigh the options of what I felt would be more needed in our community. And I really felt like it was the place to gather rather than the place to see individual healers. And that was very hard. Yes, as Marty Mouse says, change can be a challenge. It can. Lynn says, very difficult decisions. I'm sorry that you had to deal with it. Hope peace surrounds your heart. It does. It does, which is pretty cool. And another fascinating thing is in having to make that decision and close it down. You know, you look at, of course, the financial energy you invested, you look at the time you invested, you look at the time spent away from your family to make it happen, and all of this. And I don't regret a single bit of it. A dear friend of mine from California sent me this thread, and it was like, if you had it open for 5 years and you touched one person's life every day, and then the domino effect, and she ended up with like these tens and thousands of numbers of people who've been affected by the center's practitioner space. So I look forward to making those numbers grow, but just over in our event space instead. My neighbor walking the sweetest dog, Benny. He looks for my cat every time. It's so funny. It's supposed to be a real big porteront now, one that makes people want to cocoon, then create, Kim Lawson says, as I make it with a southern drawl. Energetically, what's going on? So, spiritually, I've been doing lots of meditations and trying to stay really neutral. That energy that's in the center of our body that's not triggered to like react and control, and the one that's triggered to retreat or repair, to take responsibility of things that aren't ours. So I've been hanging here and talking to some new guides that I'm getting to know, like Liam, and of course, my guide Charles, who's continuously pushing my buttons hard. Right now, it's the same conversation as it was 2 weeks ago, which was, your brain's too busy. Slow it down, girl. And I'm like, oh my God, I slow it down when I'm in meditation. Take me somewhere then. He's like, it's not what we're asking. We're asking that when you're awake, your brain doesn't have that much activity. So I'm working on that. I do have moments of calm, but I'm getting these little bits of clarity, and the whole, like Kim was mentioning, a portal, this mid-May energy that we just kind of slid through, all the deep heart emotional work, like this bleeding heart, where we look at wounds we felt we healed, or maybe we were really good at hiding from, are now coming out a lot. Now we've gotten past that, and as Kim said, it's a cocoon and a create. We're going to be looking at these answers that we've come up with, and like I'm clearly showing you by example, the excitement of noticing that you're reacting differently to your actions. Like in the past, I would have felt like, I'm outside today because my house is totally full. In the past, I would have looked at my decision at closing Suite 10 with the practitioners as a big failure, and I would have made it my fault. And I am surprised at myself that I have not come up with that. It's exciting. I'm just sharing truths, not, looking for any ahs or pities. I think we grow better when we can open up and really share exactly what's happening, and you can kind of learn or observe through the experience of someone being vulnerable, and seeing it in more of a clear sight. So I'm surprised at those actions. So now we're at the end of May, and we're going to look at these things and go, oh gosh, I can see where that was in my life. And I have no desire or need to react like that anymore, or to think of it like that anymore. And you might have these moments too. You're like, ooh, what? Good job. That's so cool. And kind of what's going to be needed or required at the kind of tail end 8-day journey of May is a mind that is not going to poo poo on you. I said it like that. I don't know why. A mind that's not going to be the devil's advocate or the deep critique. It's like the last struggle. Because after this month, we're really going to be more feelers than thinkers. I'm so excited. I feel like crying. Isn't that crazy? Excitement cry. consciously on our earth, we've been logical beings for a really long time. We've reached a conscious mass, a uh, conscious field, like a number that hit us to the tipping point. When we come into the next month, we've hit our tipping point as a whole. And so now we're more feelers than we are thinkers. I am so curious to know what we're going to do with that. So, this is the last tantrum, the last bit of struggle, where the brain is going to jump in and just be like, bitch, what's going on? You can't do that. You have to do blah, 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 and kind of poo poo on it, be very analytical, try to compare it to somebody else's experience. And then in the meanwhile, those of you luminaires and others out there that have been taking this kind of enlightened journey where we're choosing to kind of raise above this, your heart and the little enlightened voice in the back of the head is going to jump in and go, brain, you are so silly. What are you doing? I don't need to compare. That's not my journey over there. I'm my journey. I'm looking at it from this point, from the now point. Oh my God. The freedom that we're about to experience as like a big whole is going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Exciting and scary times. Hi, Rob. Yeah, this is my first time sharing with everyone that half of the Center for Love and Light is closing down at this time, letting go of the space, and going to bring forth kind of the maybe I don't know why it blocked that. Going to bring forth more of the event space in Suite 7. We're going to start training people, training how to be together, because physical distancing has created a lot of trauma. And with the fear that's been installed with us by our government, not to breathe the air that somebody else breathes. Oh my goodness, it's terrifying. So I'm getting a firsthand experience. Here's my another doozy that, oh, spirit dragons, we'll go over it again. Yes, we need more of these videos. And Kim, I so want to do them now that now that I'm over my hump and deciding what to do at the Center for Love and Light, which I'll cover again. I'm getting to learn what it's like to be in a house when somebody else is quarantined. So my dear friend, Dr. Jen Berryessa, has been in quarantine for 3 weeks. She's on her 5th or 6th week now, so she's past it. But a family with 3 kids and a husband who is also a doctor. And she had the coronavirus, very bad, really, it was hard for her. So my husband yesterday came down with a fever. And so now he is locked up in the guest bedroom and bathroom, and I'm making the meals and feeding through a little door, and he's opening the windows and we're talking via phone. But now the household life and my anchor, the one that I come home to and say, just look at me and tell me everything's going to be okay. It's not there because he's not okay. So I'm helping prop him up and doing my best to also recognize when I need to be propped up, because I just did an ultimate blowout inside. I'm owning it, guys. I was just like, between a door, he's on one side. He's got a low grade fever and a tight chest. Otherwise, he's feeling fine, but he's getting tested tomorrow. That was the soonest test they could find. And I'm on the other door telling him the instructions that I know I've told him 20 times before. But in relationships, we get comfortable and we go, oh, they've got it. I don't need to do it. They're always going to do it. And now I can't do it. And now he needs to do it. And I blew up. And then I had to walk away from the door, and I walked back and I was like, are you there? I'm really sorry. I'm having a hard time with this, because I understand. He was so cool about it. But the ability to acknowledge, if it's not in the moment, but right after, that you need to own what you've done and what you've said. Start talking from your heart rather than the explosive head or the explosive right side of the energy, the the masculine, the positive, the alpha energy that likes to raise up really quick was really great. Nothing is lingering in this house anymore. Lillian is like, does everybody have spirit guides and angels? That is a yes. Thank you for all the thoughts, prayers, intents. You guys are incredible. It is so good to see you here. I've really missed you. I had so much fun oh my God, I'm about to say last Wednesday, and that was yesterday. So much has happened. We did a channeling for the Lumi Centered, and I know that the ad kind of came out, the link came out the day of, so we're going to get better at sending the links out in advance so that you know when it's happening. Our next one in June, I think it's June 17th. They're going to be a Wednesday at 2:00. Oh, blessings from Waukegan, Illinois. Is that how you say it, Anna? I don't know. Self-sufficient is rocking it in Australia. Yay! I'm very happy. I'll mention briefly again with Corona vacation and the financial displacement of energy and how the systems have shut down. I've gotten all kinds of loans and donations. I had 2 spaces and I was only able to keep one alive. And I had to choose which one I felt would be more pertinent to us as a community and growing and staying on our path. And I chose the event space. And so I'm letting go of half the center, which is all the practitioner offices. Janet Raftis, Scott Hall, Tatiana Franklin, Jay Greathouse, Kenya Jackson Salters. The list goes on. Mandy Blackman, Dr. Kate at Precision Performance, and oh my God, who am I missing? Corey Dobbins. So we're all going to find places to be together online. We're opening a center membership online. So the classes that we would normally be doing in person are going to be online, and it's going to be a flat fee. So what would normally cost like $200 and something to take all the classes is going to be like $29.99. I just got off the phone with Sydney at Learn It Live to make sure that the membership is launching. It's going to go up on Monday, but we're going to take a few weeks to make sure we've got the verbiage down the way we want it. And then we'll start selling memberships to the center in 2 weeks, which is great. Memberships all around. Rob Holmes, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. Quoted by Joseph Campbell. And very well said. Nothing in my hands, guys. I've let go. Oh, look at DG is so excited. Oh no. My kitty cat is capturing everything and eating it and is about to eat a butterfly. Let him go. Anyways, DG, you apologize for being off topic, but we're going to do a little bit of celebration for you. Woo, woo, DG. Telepathy. Telepathy. That's how the dyslexic works in me. Telepathy. Did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And you said, I can't believe it. Yay! I'm so excited for you. This is coming about. This is what we're growing into. Isn't it amazing? It's like all those sci-fi things that we've read, we never thought that we would like live in, and it's happening in our age and day. It is. Angela Book says so many of us think we're experiencing, so many of us, I think, are experiencing a lot of this. I gave up on my healing business idea after working so hard on it, and then realized to let go and go with the flow. Whew, turn around, Angela. I'm right behind you in the same boat. Look at us. We're just going to go with it. I truly feel that there is a wave coming. And I feel that way because Spirit's been talking about it as well. It's after August. It's more of like an October, November wave where we're just like rise up against not the machine anymore because we've kind of stepped back from it, but rise up against normalities, rise up against routine. And we're going to rise up and say, you know, nothing is normal. Everything is unique and okay. And we don't have to be on a routine. We can actually go with what our needs are, not what the clock says. Needs versus clock. And almost caught the bird. This cat is so good. Has no claws, nothing. Rescued. She's like this tiny bit and she's 15 years old. Just on it. That shift in attitude is definitely something worth celebrating, says Melinda. Okay, another celebration. Shift in attitude. Go Jamie, go Luminaires, go everybody who is learning to let go, and especially to hold space. And to know when you're persevering and pushing versus being strong for the occasion. I don't know if that's going to ring with you. Does she have something in her mouth? Goodness. So pushing, when we look at anything that's energetic, anything with energy, if you push hard on it, you're going to manipulate it and shape it into something else. It's not going to be authentic and real to the moment. And then there's times where you're really required to invest your energy into something which will feel like strength coming in, but it's invested into an outcome that you're not manipulating by putting that much energy into it. Do you see some of the differences here? So I was noticing that I was pushing to keep the center practitioner space open. I wasn't just being strong to hold it so it could be authentically growing. I was pushing to keep it open. And so I had to let go of it. Yeah. Marnie said she's excited for what's to come. I'm exhausted for being in my head too long. Maybe that's why Charles keeps circling around some of us. Your head is too busy. Jess says, Jamie, how does this energy shift affect the animals? Well, if we're going off my tiny black and white cat, I'm hyper and super powerful. She's like the Hulk Hogan in like 5 pounds of kitty. How's it affecting animals? So we're going to use Maitland for this one. There's 2 things she's sharing. One is that we're looking at wildlife, not really domesticated. With wildlife animals, they're not feeling, Maitland says, they're not feeling the pinch because most of the time the people are out and in their space and pushing. Oh, my connection is unstable. Hold on. Are we back on? So wildlife is acknowledging or consciously identifying that they have more knowledge than us. I think that's wild. The second one she was talking about is with the domesticated animals who are at home with us and experiencing us maybe too much is starting to recognize that they want more respect or rights. It's kind of like a civil rights movement for the domesticated animals. This is the first time I've ever heard that and said that out loud. It makes me smile, but you kind of wonder, have we ever put that together? YouTube and their non-notifications. Sorry about that, GDM BDM 76. Oh my gosh, you love the bird song? Record for more videos outside. They're everywhere. Scrolling down. Oh, thank you so much, Adis. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the donation. That is definitely going towards the event space at the Center for Love and Light, and that we are going to be keeping alive. I'm loving the online connection because I don't live in Georgia and now I can be a part of your center. I know, Jen E, it's been so wonderful. Well, I love all the Learn It Live classes, which we've got 3 coming up tomorrow. How to energetically clean your home, which is kind of great right now. And I'm going to be doing it because I have really quarantined in the guest bedroom. I'm going to go over what's meditation and the different types of meditation. And then we're going to grid for protection and health. And I'm going to shove stones underneath the door and I'm going to make Rui grid the bed for himself so he feels better, which is kind of weird because I did the gridding for protection and health specifically for people who are experiencing symptoms. Oh, Kim, thank you very much. Andrea, you guys are great. Kim, thank you so much for the donation. It was very sweet. Andrea, you're awesome. Thank you. It's all going to be used very appropriately towards the center. It's happening. You guys rock. Then, not tomorrow, but the next Friday, if you guys have wanted to see energy, like really tune in your eyeballs and have a visual, a clairvoyance interaction, I'm going to do a two-parter. The first one is going to be how to see energy, and the second one is going to be how to see auras. And so hopefully you'll join me for the free class too. And then after that, I'm going to teach how to set an intent. That's like 3 weeks out. We're going to do dowsing and pendulums, like hardcore. I love my classes because I do handouts. And Colleen likes to send me a text. You don't have to have a handout for every class. It's okay. And I'm like, no, I need a handout. I like when you can take a quick class and you can look at something and it has, I had to take notes. And you can take it home with you and it refreshes it and it brings it back to your memory. To me, it's important. And then we're going to do, let's see, setting the intent, dowsing and pendulums, and the next grid is going to be for lucid dreaming. That's 3 out. Tomorrow's gridding is for protection and health. That's where we go over 4 crystals, what they do, where they're found, what they look like, and then how they communicate. And then I usually do like a highlight of how 2 things work together. 2 stones work together, 2 theories, 2 shapes, anything like that that deals with crystals only. Oh, and then we're doing Reiki again. Connie, thank you very much, Connie, for your donation. Thanks for being you. Thank you for being you. Luminaires, you rock. You guys have been so patient with me as I took time out to just breathe and remember what it was like to be in the flow, coming away from the head and into the heart. Thank you very much, Connie. So we're going to do Reiki again, Reiki 1 and 2, online. So Reiki level 1 is in June 11th. Level 2 is in July 2nd. And if you've been trained by somebody else, you can still come. If you've done Reiki 1 with somebody else, you can join Reiki 2. It's totally fine. I still do my attunements separately, even though they're remote. A lot of the online groups, you'll do, everybody will get attuned at once. So if we have 20 or 50 people in the class, you all get it at once. But I do little time frames and I sit with you individually and attune your energy because that's something that I cherish and I would want for myself. So I do it for you. So I only allow 20 people in the class because I need that individual time with you. Jen E, thank you very much for your donation. Big hug, pretty lady. I'll always support you. I know you've done so much. You've helped us keep afloat as far as we can with both spaces. And now all the energy is going to be supporting one to survive this. This is great. Thank you so much. Yay! Oh, Starlighter. Tomorrow's classes, we start at 11 with the first class, which is how to energetically clean your home. And then noon, what is meditation? How it goes. And then gridding and protection is at 1. I think that's how it goes. There's 30-minute classes, but I like to log on, and other Lumineers will share. I like to log on a little bit early and just get the feel of what you guys really want to learn and what you want to talk about. And then I stay a little bit afterwards just to clarify that you got your questions answered and that everything that you're learning is something that you can take with you and take home. That's a good, important thing. Peter Lombardi! And your go away green, but you posted in blue. You are the best. Thank you so much for the donation, Peter. Oh, you guys are awesome. You might just like burst my heart a little bit and you'll see me cry, but like I've said, I'm choosing chin up and a smile, and it's not disassociation. It's just the way I choose to present it right now. Julie, still can't bend the spoon, but I can rock a pendulum, sending healing and protective juju to you and your whole family. Thank you. And then Jamie's answering Sheldon's question. You can watch the classes anytime. Yeah, it's pretty wonderful. Even on Learn It Live, once you've purchased the class, you can go back and watch it many times. But if you are part of the YouTube membership, anything that we do in there stays recorded. You can go into the community thread and find the links. All the links of when the next thing is happening and what's going on is going to be in there. We're going to do a book vote soon. We are still on Love Money, Money Loves You, rolling like a fourth into it. So next week we'll have our next book meeting on that. And then we will also have a vote. Will our next book be Power versus Force or The Untethered Soul? Bum, bum, bum. What will it be? Once we decide that, you'll have a little bit more time to purchase your books, because I heard some of you were having a hard time getting the book sent to you. And I'm like you, I enjoy the book, not the screen. Veronica. Ooh, Jamie wants to have a clairvoyant experience. Yes, Sheldon, you can always watch the Learn It Lives later. Veronica says her explosive side comes out before she's even aware of it. Where do we even start to heal? Veronica, that post was great. You can identify it. That's where you start. You identify that you don't like it. Even if you keep doing it, identifying that you don't like it is going to help set the stage for change. But I would say at any time, the best place to start is if you find yourself rolling back into past moments and you're like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. Like how I blew up at my husband on the other side of the door. Well, I don't know if he's scared or afraid. I'm going to imagine he is. He hasn't said those things to me. Worried, he has said. Concerned, he has said. And I'm blowing up on this side. I can't do all of this. I'm not the cook in the house. No, I'm cooking all the meals. Like it's kind of like people who know me are laughing. My neighbors are sending me phone numbers to restaurants and suggestions of what to order. That's how much I don't cook. So it's a good joke. Then I walked away from it and I realized I didn't like that. I didn't like how I behaved. I didn't like who I was. So Veronica, the next step, you've identified you don't like it. Next step is go back and say, hey, that what I did, I didn't like it. I'm owning it. I yelled, I flipped out. I don't know what I want to say to you. I can say I don't like what's happening. I can say I'm frustrated. You don't have to have the right words to go back and claim your reaction was something you didn't like. So I would start there. And that goes for anybody. If you're doing something that you didn't enjoy and you recognize it an hour later, 2 weeks later, a year later, it is never too late to go back and just say, I'm seeing it now and I hated it and I carried that and I didn't like it. I don't know what else to say about it. It could be an I'm sorry if you feel like that's called for, or it could just simply be the acknowledgement that you didn't like it and you're working on it and that you really regret how you spoke, how you acted, how you moved, how you whatever, judged, whatever the term is. And then from that, you'll find instinctively, Veronica, that you'll come up with ways of that felt good. And I want to do that again. And we're naturally, as humans, emotional beings, inclined to go towards the bliss and the joy. And when we start feeling good about it, it's like a Pavlov's dog. We go back and we go, oh, now I want to go apologize for this. Oh, now I want to tell them that really sucked what I did. Oh, now that's going to, and the ego goes, I was trying to keep that shit together so we didn't look like an ass. But sure, go ahead. And it starts to like dissolve a little bit. And then the apologizing and the repairing and the fixing it gets easy and it's wonderful. You're going to listen to parked cars. I don't know why they're there. The park. Oh, Linda Marie, we wouldn't be Luminaires without you. MP, is the current energy affecting internet connections? It's been on and off for a few weeks now. Yes, it is. But there's also a lot of people using the internet, and we have to recognize that our government is controlling our internet speeds. So if they would just loosen up and really expand the bandwidth, literally, we would have a lot more ease around all of this. Oh, hi, Connie. Oh, what's happening? Now it's like jerking all around. Waking up in 5D. Yes, you are, Lorena. Hi, Barrett. Nice Star Wars shirt. Oh yeah, yeah, baby. Chris, love you. Too much happening in my life. Sure could use direction. So let's talk about being a little lost. Are you guys up for that? Being a little misplaced. Um, when we end up in a position, oh, it's okay. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Amy. I'm on call with all my friends. Lydia just went to the park and had some really awesome fresh air and played and has come home with a like perfect stick. I love it. She's 5. Perfect stick. My husband still, when he walks, he looks for the perfect stick. So maybe that thing doesn't go away. Oh, it's a book, Waking Up in 5D. Oh my God, let me write that down. Where's my pen? There it is. Thank you for clarifying that. I wouldn't have known. Okay, I got it on the list. Oh, I love that. Thank you. So what happens, I love that prayer, Caesar. What happens when you wake up and you get a little confused? If we just looked at what being lost or confused is like mentally, if we look at it in an energetic field, it's imagine eddies in water, how they spin. So we have these little eddies. So we have energy that normally layers itself, and traditionally energy will shine out because we are engaging in our environment. This is part of our communication. We do it with our words. We push our words out. Our thoughts, even though we think we're in our head, they go out. So when we are confused, flustered, or like I am right now, why they have to be so loud. But when you're confused or flustered, energy swirls and it won't shine out. And what it will do is like will attract like. So when you get confused in one place and it feeds into another path, let's say we're confused about our relationship with this person, but now it's bleeding over in our trust and how we're examining this relationship over here. See how it's blending? Then like will find like, and it will start to collect. And it looks like cotton candy, you know, when you swirl it together. It's like cotton candy balls of energy that swirl. So it's not really feeding you, and it's not really feeding the environment. It's just kind of in a holding pattern. Yes, Rob, the force is within all of us. I think Maitland is making the birds sing louder so it covers the car noises that are on the street. There's a group that's parked and they're sitting in their cars with their cars running, which makes my like, you know, my very green earth heart just like sink. It's like, just turn your cars off. Anyways, okay, swirls of energy, not feeding you, not feeding the environment. So this is what it looks like energetically. When you want to break some of that apart so that maybe you can put your hooks into being a little bit more grounded, there's a way to step back. And some of you might see it as a disassociation technique, which might not be healthy, but for the majority of us, it can work really well. You might hear that sitting still and being still is not an action or is passive, which I call BS. Sitting still and being still is just as hard as running the marathon. So you step back and you sit down and you do nothing, which is an extremely active thing to do. You do nothing. And when we start to do nothing, we take more of an observer role. And in observing, we can see these eddies and this energy and the confusion of how we're not getting what we want and we're not being heard for what we're saying. It's just not lining up. And in the observing, we start to identify. And when we identify, we start to build a different relationship or perspective with it. And as simple as that, that different perspective can give you a different path that when you choose to get up and not be still anymore and take action in that relationship, job, or situation, you'll have that new perspective with you. And that energy is not going to eddy anymore. It's going to start to want to communicate. And sometimes we might feel completely overspent or overwhelmed because we are now getting back into it and we just want to pour everything into it. And sometimes when we get up and we get back on that path, we might feel like we're not doing enough. So do expect there's a spectrum and a swing of it. Totally overwhelmed, not doing enough. But this spectrum doesn't have the confusion and the not being fed energy. Does that make sense? So sit down, do nothing, observe, and through observing, identify. And identify doesn't have to be a heady thing, okay, guys? It's not like I'm going to label it this. No, observing can come from the heart. And this is where the maze energy, where we're coming away from the head into the heart. A lot of the words and the definitions we've used, we make them very logical, like identify. Identify, let's put a word to it, be able to compare, measure, contrast, do all these analytical things with. No, you can identify it here. It doesn't have to have a word. It doesn't have to have anything like that, but identify it energetically. What's a Windows 10? Oh, Windows. Is that with your PC? Observe from the heart. Yes. Media is trying to manipulate about 5G towers are good for us. Our speed of internet, ha ha ha. I think it's more about keeping people dumb and dumber. Brain cell killing as well as body cells. Yeah, Lorena. I do believe with EMFs and different wavelengths and everything, it does interfere greatly with the body. So we have two choices, right? We can choose to fight against it, which a lot of our anger and upset of wanting to turn it off and not have this 5G in our life. They're like, he's blocking the road. I just want to make sure there wasn't an accident. I'm such a mom when I observe things. I'm like, is everybody okay? Okay. So two things, we can fight it. That's where anger and disappointment comes, especially, kind of knowing some of the side effects that have been reported with these higher frequencies, or we can choose to adapt to it. So since it's being pushed to us or given to us, my challenge with you would be to, let's try to work with it. We can do that with a little bit of shungite. Put some shungite on your internet controllers, put it next to your bed, turn your internet off at night, put it on a timer if you forget about it. There's so many different things that we can do. Oh, peace. It took 10 minutes to get here. My apologies. I know that just doesn't feel good when the machine's not working and you're smarter than the machine, but it's still acting up. She says too, I'm a rubbernecker. That's what that is. I'm like, is everybody okay? Cassandra, hi. I heard a lot about this portal today and tomorrow with incoming energy and shifting timelines. Is that true? Yes. Well, I mean, we could sit and have a whole nother hour conversation, I think, Cassandra, about what shifting timelines really means. It's when we have a portal, it's a door. And that definition is good and clear. Oh, you can't hear? Oh my goodness.